To all our viewers to the first ever live cross and live broadcast of a game of footy in WA. And both sides are out on the ground at the moment, West Perth and East Fremantle. West Perth, the defending title holders of the Carnival, don't look like playing in the final, but East Fremantle, who have had 2 wins from 2 games, certainly do so. And there they are warming up at the moment, East Fremantle. Percy Johnson joining with comments today. Perce, East Fremantle somewhat of a dark horse and a surprise as far as the Carnival's gone.
Well, they have been to me, John, and I suppose they have been to everybody, but when you really analyse it, even last week when they played East Perth, they were off the marks pretty quickly. They kicked a bag of goals, a dozen up to half-time in that game, which indicated that they're quick movers. They're a keen young bunch of young fellas who, a lot of them would have been used to playing early in the morning, like that big win they had over East Perth. A lot of those kids are not long out of Colts, and they were used to playing at that time of the morning, so they were probably tuned to that situation a bit better than other sides, and I reckon this club's full of talent and full of opportunity for the future, and I'm not surprised they've gone well. I've been a little bit disappointed they haven't gone better all year.
West Perth, a trifle disappointing in their approach to the game, or to the result as far as they were concerned. They carried all before them last year, but this year really haven't gone on with it in the Carnival. No,
they've looked ordinary. They've come back to things that have been failures in their league situation. Bradmore at centre-half forward. He's a handy half-forward flanker, and I reckon he's good in that role, but at centre-half forward, to me, he crowds his forward line at centre-half forward. He makes leads deep to the flank. He drops overhead marks and pulls the ball in underneath himself, and he's a much better player on the flank. They need some flair in their forward line for my money, West Perth, and I can't understand, well, I can understand, I suppose, but I would like to see Rod Alderton return to their forward line, because I reckon they need a spark, and Alderton's a type of spark that could do them some good.
Well, that's Ray Holden there, the fullback for West Perth. Ron Alexander has won the toss and is kicking to the right of the screen, up towards the Subiaco end of the ground. And the action, the game just about to get underway. Percy, the run of East Fremantle versus the run of West Perth. Very quickly, what's going to happen?
Well, I think that I can't see that East Fremantle won't go on with their business. They're very keen. They brought in a couple of new boys. Young Michael Jensen's in there on the wing today, and he's a runner too, a very, very quick attacking player. East Fremantle just look more lively than West Perth. West Perth bogging the play down. I'll be surprised if East Fremantle don't take this game out.
Okay, all just about in readiness. There's Ron Alexander, the captain coach of East Fremantle. He will be contesting the first bounce down of the game. His opponent will be Craig Nelson. So it's Alexander and Nelson. Everything ready to go. There's the siren to start this game between West Perth and East Fremantle. It's Nelson coming through Holden, not playing at fullback. Fotheringham. For East Fremantle, this is Waterman up towards half forward. 52 is Lester Smith. West Perth trying to come out of defence. And that'll be the first kick of the match. And the recipient, Tony Polar, centre half back. Yes, he's on the 50-metre line there, a new innovation which has been quite successful. This is Fotheringham, backward of centre. In the centre of the ground, Managlio. Ellis for East Fremantle. Right centre wing for Old Easts. Or the Sharks, of course, as they're now known. Cassidy towards half forward. Allen, not quite. Russell Allen and Lester Smith. Allen, Cronin. Half back. This is Roger Kerr for East Fremantle. 15 is Sterrett. Opportunity through Cormac. Timely. Ross Gibbs. 16 is Bradmore, and many changes made by West Perth at the moment, Percy. They've got the side really shuffled around.
Well, Bradmore's certainly not centre forward today.
That was Nelson to Gibbs. Gibbs into the centre. Shane Ellis. East Fremantle into the pocket. Trouble here. 44 for West Perth is Murray. Then Gibbs. And Nelson, left half-back flank on the defensive 50-metre line.
Looks a good player, this fella.
Towards half-back, Mountain.
Interesting to see how Paul goes in the new game today.
Paul Mountain, centre half-back. Plenty of opportunities. 18 is Cronin, former teammates, and now, of course, again teammates. To left centre wing. Phil Cronin. Managlio the target. 33 there was McAvoy. O'Brien. 52 is Hathaway.
Well, Hathaway,
good mark to Rankin.
You don't kick that away, Hathaway, I can tell you that. That was a poor old effort to disposal.
Half back, out towards a wing. All East Fremantle at the moment. This is O'Brien again, number 7. Towards left half forward. 17 Cronin, or 18 Cronin. One hand not good enough, Paul Mountain. He should get a kick anyway. He's on the 50-metre line, left half forward flank for West Perth.
Not like Mountain, either one-handed stuff. He's a courageous player. Obviously just needs a bit to boost his confidence.
The man on the mark standing right on the 50-metre line. Fotheringham. 17 though is Cormac. 4 Rankin. Towards left centre wing. And Lester Smith shows promise of being a good footballer. And there's 15 metres as well. Lester Smith, left foot. Towards half forward. 38 there is Munns for West Perth. Ian Kerr. Not a lot happening at the moment. Holden. 45 is Polar. 42 for West Perth, Chris Davies. Very scrambly out there at the moment. Alexander indicating that perhaps that was holding the ball, and the umpire has agreed.
Rankin's proved a big boom to East Fremantle since he's gone to the back pocket.
Rankin to left centre wing. Cassidy is 5. This is better play from East Fremantle. Cronin though, centre half back. Interesting way of trying to stop an opponent. Lester Smith on the mark. Cronin to half forward. Bradmore from behind. Mountain. Bradmore. Nelson. 9 is Managlio. The target is Avery. Left foot. Left full forward. Pocket. Oh, unlucky. There's the first score of the match.
Yes, and he nearly kicks him from anywhere. Actually, I think that's Holden at centre half forward, not Bradmore. John, I think they've got Ray Holden, their normal fullback, playing at centre half forward today.
Yes, they have. The target is Browning, and that's him. Browning in the right fullback pocket. West Perth are a point. East Fremantle yet to score. 5 minutes into the first half. Ellis battling there, number 24 for East Fremantle. 1 is Kerr. And it's bogged down almost on West Perth's half forward line. Alexander and Nelson. Alexander. 19 is Wilson for East Fremantle. Cormac. Mitchell. Mitchell to half forward. Lester Smith. 33 is Jensen. Score for East Fremantle. Not what they would have wanted, though.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky then. Colin Watterson not sure whether the goalpost was looming up, so he couldn't commit his body completely.
Towards half back, Nelson playing well.
I like him.
38 is Munns, left foot. This is Fotheringham, right centre wing. To half forward. Avery in front almost. 7 is O'Brien. East Fremantle out of trouble. Pitterini. 33 Jensen again, right centre wing. Watterson not quite. At East Fremantle deep into attack.
Jensen proving pretty lively on this right centre wing. He's got a lot of the characteristics of Paniza, this young fella. Once he gets the ball in front of him, he's running towards the goal. It's pretty hard to stop and usually does something with the ball.
1 point apiece. 6.5 minutes into the first half. Ellen. Cronin. Gee, everyone could see that happening. Cronin a chance to redeem, and does. Fotheringham in front. Cormac. 19 is Wilson. Jones is 13 for East Fremantle. He's through, closing to the goals. And there's the first goal of the match. East Fremantle 1-1, West Perth a point. East Fremantle 1-1-7, West Perth a point. West Perth into attack. Rankin, though, from the back pocket, playing well. Didn't really look that time. And 16 is Bradmore. Haven't they changed their side around West Perth? Far side of the ground, McAvoy. 38 for them is Ross Munns. And that's going to be holding the ball. Pitterini. It's all East Fremantle at the moment. A push. And Ray Sterrett to take the kick. He would be just outside the 50-metre line with the breeze. Lovely kick. An excellent kick from Sterrett, and that's East Fremantle's second.
Yes, that was a 50-metre kick right from the 50-metre line. A good effort by young Ray Sterrett, a strong lad. And East Fremantle have kicked off now. They've kicked away. It started off very scrambly, but they've got their game moving now. They're looking yards quicker to the ball. And as you can see, that was a little bit better than 50 metres. We've seen some torpedo punt kicks here in this carnival. Peter Spencer's kicked a couple. They seem to be a kick that had drifted away from football, but if you want to work distance, it's a top kick. And there's another 18-year-old for East Fremantle finishing it off, and they look like they're ready to spark again. And West Perth are looking as slow as they were yesterday.
Alexander and Nelson. Nelson. Fotheringham. Cronin, left centre wing. This is O'Brien. And East Fremantle lead 2-1-13 to West Perth, a point, and we are 9 minutes into the first half. Again, Nelson and Alexander. Nelson once more. Cronin. Right foot from Cronin to half forward. Holden really not sure of where he is, and that's Roger Crouch on the defensive 50-metre line. Looking for Lester Smith. And that's a fine mark. Great mark taken by Munns. Nelson. That's better play from West Perth. Avery can possibly bring up their first.
Real good play by Nelson. As a matter of fact, he's very, very mobile for a big man. Might be a handy centre-half forward in the long term.
Avery stabbing at the ball, but the result quite acceptable.
Yeah, he doesn't miss too many, this young fella. He kicks more than he misses. He's actually kicked the total score now for West Perth. But again, their movement seems to be coming from this big fella Nelson and from Cronin. Cronin's playing extremely well on this left half-back flank, and it's interesting to know that in this carnival, West Perth have returned Cronin to his more familiar role on the half-back flank.
George Christie, number 7, there on the interchange line, warming up, ready to come on the ground. Alexander and Allen. Alexander this time. 38 is Munns for West Perth. 52 is Hathaway. This is O'Brien. Avery the target. Well done.
Clinton Browning in a little bit of trouble at fullback for East Fremantle. This is the third shot by this fella in, what, the first 10 or 11 minutes of the game.
It's 11 minutes old at the moment. East Fremantle lead 2-1-13 to 1-1-7. This looks like being Avery's second. It is, and it's all tied up at the 11-minute mark.
Just
2-1-13 apiece, 11 and a half minutes into the first half. Alexander and Ellen. Ellen over the back. 19 is Wilson. A half forward. This is Jensen. Well done, Managlio. Still Managlio. 45 is Polar. To half forward. Davies took his eyes off it. West Perth playing better. Fotheringham's in. He doesn't miss too many of those, and he's put his side a goal in front.
Yes, and West Perth has certainly come to life. It's like I said, I put the mopper on them and said how bad and how sluggish they looked, and all of a sudden they burst to life. All this started off, there's Mountain doing what he's best at, too, working in close to the packs and working the ball out. That's the type of stuff that Paul Mountain will be handy to West Perth for. It all started from a smother and an interception by Peter Managlio.
So 3-1-19 to 2-1-13. A centre square infringement. West Perth the offenders. This is Alexander. Over half forward. Watterson dropping back. An opportunity for Sterrett. Cronin in trouble. It's on the 25-metre line for East Fremantle. They trail by a goal.
East Fremantle made the change. Shane Ellis back to full back and Clinton Browning out to centre half back.
Cronin now. Managlio and Jensen. Jensen maybe could have stopped. Lester Smith from behind. Not quite. Nearly held that.
Not playing him at centre-half forward today. He was a big influence at centre-half forward against Claremont yesterday.
Murray for West Perth. Gibbs in the right full-back pocket. This is going to be troublesome. It was Bradmore. Chance for East Fremantle. This is Watterson, left foot. Not a bad-looking kick. Just offline.
Rarely misses that fella in that situation either when spinning onto his left foot.
Gibbs for West Perth. Managlio the target. This is Cronin again. Mountain versus Cormac. Cormac on the bottom there. And it's just backward of the 50-metre line for East Fremantle.
Certainly nothing in the game, John.
1 goal at the moment. Less 5 points. 15 plays 19, so it's 4 points. Alexander an opportunity from 65 metres out. Oh, it's a nice kick. Lester Smith. An opportunity for his brother. Hit the post.
Brotherly love, and that's what that was. Rod Lester Smith down to Neil Lester Smith, and Neil Lester Smith is good at this. Get to the fall of the ball.
And Murray. Cronin was the target. Again, opportunities for East Fremantle. 13 was Jones. They're in again. Peppering away Mountain. Lucky to see that.
Big burly fella, this fella, the fullback for West Perth.
Len Murray, yes he is. Up the middle. Mountain it was intended for, but that's Roger Kerr. He's backward of the 50-metre line. Got very close to the man on the mark. Lester Smith almost off the ground. Watterson again, left foot. That's better. That's much better.
Yep, it's like I said, he very rarely misses those. Once he can open out that left foot, Colin Watterson very, very rarely misses them. He's proved a tremendous boom to... watch the recovery of this man. He's very quick for a fella that's 6'3". Done a big job, been a big boon to East Fremantle since he's settled down. Started slowly last season, but once he found his feet in that last qualifying game, I remember he kicked 6 or 7 goals against Perth, and he's been a real spearhead. His last league game this season, of course, he kicked 9.
So East Fremantle fighting to keep their unbeaten record intact in the Emu Export Carnival. Lead 3-5-23 to 3-1-19. We are 15 minutes into the first half. 7 there is Christie. Still Christie. To Jensen. This is Holden. Christie on the bottom again. Now Managlio. Cronin closing. Left centre wing. Still Phil Cronin. Half forward. Oh, fine mark. Great grab over the top by Browning. And it looks like a 15 metres as well. Here it comes again. Browning shifted out of full back. And that's as fine a mark as you'd ever want to see.
Very, very handy player, this fella.
Browning towards half forward. Russell Allen. Plenty of opportunities. There's one of them. 33 is McAvoy. Far side of the ground, Munns. Right centre wing. And that's going to be thrown in. Thought it may have been a kick, but it's not. 3-5-23 East Fremantle. 3-1-19 West Perth. And that's McAvoy, is it?
No, that's Hathaway.
Hathaway it is, yes. 52. And he would be 30 metres out. And West Perth need this one. They trail 23-19. Dreadful kick. Alexander. This is Shane Ellis in the right full-back pocket. Jensen. It's going to be all West Perth. Fotheringham. Mountain. They're in trouble now. Ellen. Jensen tackling. Managlio. It's been touched, so they'll play on. Ellis to Kerr was good play. This is Roger Kerr to Rankin. Rankin in the centre of the ground. Watterson the target. 5 is Cassidy. Cassidy in trouble. Russell Allen again. Still Allen. Almost too long. Kerr's free. 50 metres out. Lester Smith. And that should be a 15-metre penalty. That's Neil Lester Smith.
The benefit of playing in front on that occasion. A forward playing in front of his man found the short kick.
Lester Smith, point-blank range. And that's East Fremantle's fourth. Up to half forward for East Fremantle. Gibbs almost. Bradmore, Cronin. 39 was Morgan. Fotheringham. Murray. Lester Smith. That's got to be a kick to Fotheringham. Backward of centre, Neil Fotheringham. East Fremantle lead 4-5-29 to West Perth's 3-1-19, and there's the siren to end the first half.
Yes, it was an interesting half too. East Fremantle looked like they were going to grab complete control at about the 5 or 6 minute mark. They'll move keenly and smoothly back into the same sort of stride that they had shown yesterday, but then West Perth steady through the agency of Nelson and the ruck. I thought he did a good job. Cronin on this left half-back flank. They started to move their ball, and I thought Russell Allen did a good job when he went in on the ball too. It's interesting to know, of course, that Bogunovic isn't in this game at all today. And the most genuine Russell Allen has been given his chance back to perform for the club, and he is a most genuine fella. This fella, he's nice and mobile around the ground. And it's been this mobility coupled with his leap ability at centre bounce downs to put West Perth back into the contest. But late in the game, through the agency of some of the young men, Ray Sterrett with a 55-metre goal, and then young Neil Lester Smith playing off this right half-forward flank, picked up a couple of goals. Colin Watterson did his usual screw over his right shoulder with his left foot, and East Fremantle have steadied and slipped away. They've only got to win this one, of course, to go into the final.
What about the performance of West Perth, Perth?
Well, it's a mixed-up performance, John, in as much as the side has been virtually dropped in a hat and shuffled out. There's some players that I don't know much about. Hathaway, who has been not a bad ball possessor at centre half forward, but has been a very, very poor disposer of the ball. Avery's looked very, very good at full forward. He's played sensibly and was physically too strong for Clinton Browning. East Fremantle sensibly made the move and put their best back when Shane Ellis back there very, very quickly. And that seemed to stabilise East Fremantle because Browning went a bit better at centre half back. But West Perth again, they seem to be getting their drive. They've got Bradmore playing at centre half back, or it appears he's centre half back. They've got a big fella named Murray playing at full back. Managlio's been very, very useful on the left centre wing, but I reckon he's more than, well, probably equalling his match with young Michael Jensen playing for East Fremantle also. So West Perth a shuffled up side without a great deal of run. No Les Fong out there also, of course, so that must take a lot off West Perth.
I was going to suggest to you that Mike Jensen playing on the wing for East Fremantle has been quite a good link man between defence and attack. Yes,
he does this. He accommodates his back line very nicely. He's a young man that got opportunities last year and then has been starved of them this year. They seem to have an opinion of him that I think was wrong, but I think he's a good competitor, and it's interesting to see that he has done well.
What about Shane Ellis, the move going from centre half back to full back, obviously a necessary one?
Yeah, Shane's got two capacities. He's a very, very good player on a man, and he's also a great creator, and that's why East Fremantle obviously like him at centre half back. He gives out a lot of hand passes and creates run, and this has helped Rankin playing in that pocket, of course. But Shane also with the capacity to stop, and I do believe he's an even better fullback than he is a centre half back. He's a top defender, this fella, and he's done a good job.
OK, we'll be back in just a minute, but let's take this break.
Fremantle's half-forward line. There's been no addition to the quarter-time score, which was East Fremantle 4-5-29 to West Perth's 3-1-19. Ball being relayed back to Ross Gibbs for a kick. To Fotheringham, backward of left centre wing. Gibbs again. Players all over the place. Bradmore. Now Managlio, almost in the centre of the ground. Avery the target. 10 there is Browning. Alexander, those aged legs of his carrying him towards the boundary line.
That was a classical case of Shane Ellis's ability to use his body when he kept Avery away down there then.
Alexander and Nelson. This is Mountain. It was a good effort by Mountain, but not the result that West Perth would have liked. 3-2-20 they move to. East Fremantle remain on 4-5-29. This is Shane Ellis. Out towards right half back. Alexander the target. Holden over the top. This is now Kerr. He's a speedy customer. Right centre wing. Roger Kerr. A fine effort. Still Kerr. Target is Watterson. Too far for him. Cronin for West Perth. And kicking for touch. Left half forward flank for East Fremantle. They lead 4-5-29 to 3-2-20. Russell Allen from behind. Watterson in front. 7 was Christie. A chance for Lester Smith. Left foot. And very close, but not close enough. 4-6-30 to 3-2-20. East Fremantle in front. 3 minutes into the second half.
Usually doesn't miss those, young Neil Lester Smith.
Murray. Nelson the target. That's him, number 40, on the defensive 50-metre line. No mean effort to get round Cassidy like that. Menaglio, but Jensen, number 33 for East Fremantle. On right centre wing. Not a great deal offering. Again looking for Watterson, but not far enough for him, and that's Bradmore. The unaccustomed role at centre half back. To Murray. Menaglio. And that's most uncharacteristic of him.
But Jensen is pressuring him, isn't he? You know, he's out, pushed him out the road a couple of times in marking duels, and he pressured him into making that mistake.
So East Fremantle's opportunity. Again to half forward. Not out of danger yet by any means. 15 then was Sterrett. Opportunity for them. Left foot from Cassidy. Peppering away but not scoring the goals they want.
Yeah, Jeff Cassidy missing that one. He's one of the most superb kicks for goals that I've seen since I've been associated with football, this fella, and he usually gets that type of goal.
Murray again, left half back flank. That's a safe mark, and John Morgan has it. He's on the left half back flank, up to the wing. Holden. This is Fotheringham now for West Perth. To Hathaway. Cronin must be having a run on the ball. 33 is McAvoy. And East Fremantle happy to see that there. 4-7-31 East Fremantle. West Perth 3-2-20. 4.5 minutes into the second half. Alexander and Nelson. Alexander. 39 is Waterman for East Fremantle.
Another one of the young fellas from the club. He'll be having his first run up top this weekend.
Again, Alexander and Nelson. Nelson that time. Mountain. Pitterini is in there, 34. And 19 for East Fremantle is Wilson.
Very little run in West Perth. And of course, I suppose that's understandable with players like McKelchick and Fong not available.
Alexander this time. Pitterini. To right centre wing. Kerr. Fortunately, that was touched off the boot, so there will be no kick. 4-7-31 to 3-2-20. East Fremantle leading. That's Alexander. That's better. 7 is Christie. And still they can't get it from that right centre wing.
Certainly bogged down at the moment. A lot of players in a congested area.
Alexander left hand. Pitterini is the target. There's got to be a kick there to somebody. It's going West Perth's way. Paul Mountain. So let's see what West Perth can do with it. To half forward. They're in at the moment. Rankin playing well. Pitterini. And there's a kick.
Oh, gee, that was great back play by Rankin. Never let the ball get behind him at any stage.
Wilson for East Fremantle. 38 for West Perth is Munns. This is Rankin. Ellis. That's cool thinking from Ellis. 10 is Browning. Alexander. He's on the right half back flank. Towards half forward. Cassidy, been paid. Cassidy towards the 50-metre line. Lester Smith the target. Did it well though, Lester Smith, and left it for Watterson.
Superb kick by Cassidy, but by G uses the ball well.
So Watterson now would be 20 metres out, almost directly in front. Left foot. The kick is good, and that's East Fremantle's 5th. Fremantle 5-7-37, West Perth 3-2-20, 8 minutes into the second half. West Perth an opportunity. Mountain, backward of centre. 33 is McAvoy to Cronin. Back to McAvoy, who took his eyes off it. 6 there is Mitchell for East Fremantle. They're tackling hard. Browning. Holden, the left foot. Holden's through with a right, though. And West Perth deep into attack in their left full forward pocket.
Like a backman, he kicked for the line. That appeared how he went about it. Stage top full back, playing at centre forward today.
Hathaway and Alexander. And East Fremantle happy to see it there.
Yes, West Perth just can't generate anything. The playing players like McAvoy, and these players have been around the club for a fair while with never been able to make their mark.
Alexander and Hathaway. Alexander from behind. 34's Pitterini. Mountain. And that looked, and it is. So the game bogging down on West Perth's 50-metre line at the moment. They are trailing 3-2-20 to East Fremantle's 5-7-37. We're 9 minutes into the second half.
Yes, there hasn't been a sparkling runner in the game from either side. You know, there hasn't been a player of big influence.
Nelson and Alexander. Alexander from behind. Did it himself. Jensen with courage. Ray Holden, a fairly tough customer to tangle with.
Yes, Peter Wilson stood around a bit then. He could have cut the line of Holden coming through on that occasion and probably protected Jensen a bit.
Nelson in front. 45 is Polar. Fotheringham on. Mountain. And that's not going to go very far from there.
Starting to get the feel of the things a little bit, Bud Mountain now, you know, he's starting to get in where the ball is. He's probably picking up names and the attitude of the club and so forth.
Must be difficult. Nelson over the top. Still the score remains with East Fremantle 5-7-37 to West Perth 3-2-20. We are now 10 minutes into the second half. East Fremantle look fairly assured of playing in the final, and that's a kick to Mountain. Strange one. Holden, gee, that wasn't too good. Holden in trouble. It's a fine tackle, no result though. Now it's hotting up a little bit. 13 was Jones. 22 Roger Crouch.
Paul Mountain must have thought the grandstand had fallen on him again. It was at Ron Alexander who did him in at South last year, and he just got skittled again.
Yes, it was. Put him out for a number of weeks with a broken collarbone. Hathaway over the top. Pitterini though. And that's a fine mark. Peter Managlio, forward of left centre wing.
Yeah.
Really didn't have much of a look, did he?
Very, very ordinary stuff.
Rankin's not going to get them much easier than that. Good shepherding. Left foot. And that's better play. That's Jones, number 13. The giver of the hand pass was Wilson, up towards half forward. Spock, as they call him. Bradmore. And now O'Brien. See, that left a little to be desired. Number 10 is Browning for East Fremantle. Desperation stuff at the moment. Cronin going in. So too is Lester Smith. Pitterini's through. Back to Alexander. And here comes Jensen again, number 33 for East Fremantle, playing well. Sterrett by himself. Wouldn't have been too happy with that. Bradmore. Fotheringham in front. Jensen should get a kick.
Yeah, well on top of Peter Managlio, Jensen. He's probably one of the best players in this game.
Jensen, but Russell Allen been paid that.
Tiggy Touch would mark that one, but he has been a good player for West Perth today.
5-7-37 East Fremantle, 3-2-20 West Perth. Russell Allen looking for Nelson. Tapped it on cleverly. Off the ground by Jones.
Be interesting to watch Nelson at this stage here. I've been very disappointed in his ability as knock ruckman. He looks a good round the ground player to me, but I've been very, very disappointed in his ability to win tap outs.
Got that one, but to the wrong man, Lester Smith. Now Fotheringham though, on the break. Towards Avery. Avery and Ellis, two young, fine players. East Fremantle could be out of trouble here. Alexander, good use of the body. 33 was McAvoy. A push from Paul Mountain to take the kick. No, it won't be. It'll be 45. Who is Tony Polar. Almost on the 50-metre line. And again, Avery the target. Crouch for East Fremantle. Really didn't have a look. The ball was touched. 33 McAvoy. Better play. 42 is Davies, and West Perth needed. Now East Fremantle through Cassidy. Gibbs for West Perth. Didn't look. And that's Bill Jones, number 13. High towards Watterson. Watterson and Murray. But it's been left for Ray Sterrett.
This is his great strength, this young man. I believe he is a full forward because his great strength is to stand his ground, whole front berth, short, sharp leads. He lacks a yard of pace, but that was his strength, what you saw there.
He's 20 metres out, directly in front. Well, I think he's pushed that off too far, and he wouldn't be happy with that sort of kick.
No, just talking about his strength. He flunked out. He doesn't miss those. West Perth will have the memory, of course, that when East Fremantle beat them a couple of weeks ago, this was the fella that kicked the winning goal.
Ross Gibbs. That's a beautiful kick. That's almost into the centre. Alexander. Should be all West Perth. Fotheringham, backward of centre. Managlio, but kicks have been hard to come by. There's nobody within 30 or 40 metres of him. It's symptomatic of the way they're going, but he'll get another chance. 50 metres and closing. Left foot. Avery being interfered with. Or is it Holden? It's Avery. Avery would be 6 metres out. And he scored his third. 1 goal the difference at the moment. 32 plays 38. West Perth on the break again. This is Managlio once more. And I'd suggest he'll probably get a kick for that. Silly because the ball was going out of play.
But it showed up a couple of deficiencies in some of the young players at East Fremantle. Young Waterman's also one that lacks a yard of pace.
Managlio. Again, Avery the target. And a strong mark to Browning. It's always dangerous. Didn't come off that time either. Mountain. Alexander will show them the way. Alexander to right centre wing. Gibbs behind. 39 for East Fremantle is Russ Waterman.
Yes, and we've got a bit of a cliffhanger, haven't we? What, a couple of 3 minutes to play and one kick the difference.
Yes, we're 17 minutes into the second half and it's 5-2-32 to 5-8-38. Waterman. That's Kerr. Kerr on right centre wing. It's been touched. 38 was Munns. Now Mountain from Managlio. Good spoiling effort that from Browning. This is Rankin. He's over the centre to half forward. And that's a fine bit of play. Brought undone by Sterrett though. Thought he could have held that one.
Very handy point just the same. The 7-point break. That makes a big difference at this stage of a game.
Makes it difficult at the 18-minute mark. Cronin from Murray. Cronin to the centre. Hathaway. He is in the centre. At the way coming towards right half forward. This is O'Brien. Again, Avery the target. Good spoil by Jensen. He has been a fine player. To Ellis. Not out of trouble yet, East Fremantle. Avery's through. He'll score a goal. West Perth needed that.
Yes, not out of trouble, right in trouble, as a matter of fact. An ordinary handball then by young Jensen. Didn't carry the distance. He did his job really well to get down there and intercept the line of the pass, but pulled the ball back to his own goal. And again, East Fremantle having trouble in their defence when we see Avery popping up and kicking 4 goals. A strong performance by this quiet, hard-working forward.
Well, there's about a minute to go in this game, and it's 1 point the difference. 6-2 to 5-9. 39 plays 38. East Fremantle in front. That was Bradmore to Gibbs. Hathaway in front. An opportunity for them. There's O'Brien. And that could be a telling mark. Browning very happy to get that one, and a 15-metre penalty against Hathaway.
Yeah, but he dropped the football on that occasion. You know, that's what you call conning the umpire.
Browning will take as much time as he can. Looking for Kerr. Not too far for him. Bradmore for West Perth. This is Gibbs. Had to take that. Waterman will clear. This is Cormack. Harding. And there's the siren. East Fremantle have kept their unbeaten record intact. And will the goal be allowed? It won't be. So the final score, East Fremantle 5-9-39 have defeated West Perth.